my 21-week pregnancy update video. It's gonna be pretty almost uneventful because not a lot has happened this week as far as like my symptoms go, but I think I'm just gonna jump right in because I don't want this to be too long-winded, and I'm honestly really exhausted today. So like in all my last few pregnancy updates, I'm just going to talk a little bit about baby generalized development and then my symptoms, and then I will talk about how my doctor's appointment went, and then I will do a bump shot along with a clip of my fetal Doppler. So like I've said in my other videos, I use the Ovia pregnancy app, and according to that app, baby girl is the size of a baby bok choy, which I don't know what that is. I feel like this app uses the weirdest vegetables and things to compare to a baby. I don't know, I feel like they could use things that you might actually know what it is. But as far as like actual numbers go, she is around the size of 10.5 inches long and about 3/4 of a pound. But we did our 20-week anatomy scan yesterday when I was 20 weeks and 6 days, and she was right about at 15 ounces, which is like right under a pound. So I think she's a little bit bigger, which I'm really feeling it, guys. Also, supposedly, I guess around this time, you're supposed to be getting that like real pregnancy hunger, and I am not experiencing that at all. Hello, James. We're gonna take a bath in a minute. He's been asking to take a bath all day, and we are definitely taking a bath today because we are very dirty. But as I was saying, in James's pregnancy, I felt the entire pregnancy that I was ravenously hungry all the time. I was never full. I was constantly felt like I hadn't eaten the entire day, and I was always eating, and I also gained the least amount of weight with him, and I was struggling to gain weight. And with Jackson, I would go through periods of time where I was either extremely hungry, or I would go like a day or so and realize I have not even eaten at all. And in this pregnancy, I just have a regular appetite. Hello, James! And I just feel like my appetite hasn't changed at all. I'm still just as hungry. I eat the same that I always would have if I wasn't pregnant. I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm getting slightly more hungry more frequently, but I really don't feel any more hungry than I usually am. But as far as like my actual symptoms go, I don't have a whole lot of new symptoms. Pretty much everything I've said in my past videos, I still have, but it's like worsening or it's gone away. But anything that's new is that this week I've had a mild headache every day, and usually when I have headaches, I feel like I need to throw up because they're so intense. But these headaches just feel very mild and just enough that I'm like, I can feel it and I'm annoyed by it, but I just have really mild headaches. And then I have a lot more of like the stretching pain, which I experienced a lot with James, none with Jackson, and I guess I am now experiencing with this baby. It just feels like a lot of period cramps more frequently, just from feeling like her grow, and I think a lot of it has to do is just where she's many interruptions, as you guys have seen in my past videos. Constant interruptions, but she's sitting so low, I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on the areas that are stretching, and I think that's what causes so much pain right now, just from where she is. But I'm also feeling just like, this is a symptom that I think I've said in every video, but just like so exhausted. I am so winded. I walked like maybe 10 feet to go take him out of his pack and play and set him down. Came back to my seat, and I am so winded, but we can talk about that in a minute. So anyways, I know why I'm so exhausted today. Like, I am so tired. If you live in the Missouri area or in a surrounding state, you'll know what I'm talking about. And maybe you've heard about it if you live somewhere else, but you definitely know if you live here. So last night, our weather really showed what it could do and how bipolar it is, because in part of the state there was snow, and in another part there was sleet, and in another part there was freezing rain, and in another part just all over. There were floods and tornadoes and freezing rain and hail. And like in every different part of the state, they were experiencing like a different type of like storm. And it was like moving very rapidly through our state. Where I am particularly, we live in Springfield. Right as I was falling asleep, and we knew that there were storms coming, but we didn't realize that it was gonna be like, because we had just watched like a clip, like the weather being like, oh, Springfield's probably just gonna get like a little bit of rain, probably nothing too bad. And then I'm falling asleep around 11:30, and like the alert goes off that we're now having a tornado warning, and the sirens start going off, and I wake Tristan up. We turn the weather on, and the sirens probably went off for like an hour. A tornado, I think there was like cycling on the east side of town, and we live on the west, and the storm like pretty much passed us at that point on our part of town. It was kept moving towards the east. Yes, Jackson, yes. So, but we just decided that we would stay awake until it had pretty much passed like our area completely. So if a tornado had came, like we wouldn't have had to like very rapidly wake up, grab the boys all disorientedly and figure out what we're doing, probably in the pitch black dark. So we stayed up probably till like 12:30, and then I don't sleep very well to begin with because I'm pregnant, and Jackson still wakes up and everything, and so I'm like extremely tired today. Thank you, Missouri weather. Guess we're gonna welcome Jackson to the video because Jackson's very tired and fussy today. He's got a cut on his face because I guess he learned how to climb onto our bed, which is as tall as he is. I don't know how he did it, and we didn't realize that he was on the bed, and then he fell off. I think he smacked, I think maybe Tristan's alarm clock, which was sitting in the floor, and it cut his face a little bit. So that's something else we have to watch for with him now. But everything as far as like my symptoms and everything are really the same. Nothing's really changed, except things that have just gotten worse. So yeah, that being said, I had my 20-week appointment yesterday, and it was at 20 weeks and 6 days, so I was technically like 21 weeks. And so they weighed me and everything like the usual. And I hate talking about my weight, but I know it's like important in pregnancy. So I was 135 pounds. And like so in total I've gained 7 pounds. And I feel really, really guilty about that. Like, I just felt so gross about the fact that I gained 7 pounds. But then like later on the day, I was thinking like, I'm 21 weeks pregnant. So yeah, I've gained 7 pounds. That actually really isn't that bad. For me being halfway and gaining not even half of what they've expected me to gain, which is 25 to 35 pounds, I'm doing pretty good. I think the part that bothered me was that I gained 6 pounds of that in 4 weeks. And my stomach has grown aggressively in the last 4 weeks. So, I mean, and almost right at a pound of that is her weight, and plus the water weight. But I know my diet just isn't what it could be. It's not healthy, and it just makes me feel gross all over. And then when I see the number going up, it makes me feel gross and guilty because I know that I could definitely be doing better with my diet. And the weather is not acceptable here for us to go outside and to like exercise. It is so freezing cold here and wet and gloomy all the time. But so more into my appointment. We went into my doctor's appointment. We were waiting. We saw the nurse for her to do like the initial like vitals and everything. And then I guess they got kind of backed up. So the ultrasound technician went ahead and took me into my ultrasound. And I'm not gonna show, I may or may not put like my thumbnail may be the picture of the only picture we got from the ultrasound, because the only thing that they pretty much could see was the confirmation that she was a girl. And that itself was so hard to get. She is so low in my pelvis and the position that she's in, they could not really see anything at all. So I had to have another ultrasound in 4 weeks because they saw a few things, but there was a lot that she was just struggling to get anything from her. But she is breech, which I mean in 20 weeks, so it's fine. She's got her butt extremely low and she's all curled up in like a ball in my pelvis, but she is breech. Which for me feels kind of odd because I had an ultrasound at every single appointment with James, and at every single one he was head down. And then with Jackson it was the same thing. Every ultrasound I ever had, or like when they checked anything, he was always head down. So it was like odd to me for the first time I had a baby who wasn't head down the entirety of the time, which doesn't mean the boys never just flipped back and forth and it happened to be that way, but he says no. But I mean, I'm only 21 weeks, so she could definitely flip back around. And most babies do. They're breech and then they flip at the end. So it's not a big deal. But what else do I have written down here? But, we went back into like the room waiting for the doctor. The doctor came in and said, you know, they couldn't see really anything, but for what they could see, the very few things they could get, she looked like she was healthy and things were normal, but they do definitely need to do another ultrasound just to get the things that they just couldn't see. But they did confirm that she is in fact a girl. There were no male parts down there. So everything being fine with baby, but the nurse had made a note to talk about my heart palpitations because in my past videos I've mentioned that I've been having heart palpitations. And they started out, or maybe I would just have them here and there, and they got more frequent, and then now they were just at night, they were getting really bad. And here really in the last week, they've gotten so much worse. Like I pretty much constantly feel my heart racing, just sitting here talking. I love having toddler boys, they're very fun. Just sitting down, I feel very winded. Standing, I stood up from my toilet yesterday and felt like I literally had ran across like my stairs. I felt so tired, winded, like I couldn't breathe, and my heart was racing just from like standing up. But yesterday I had kind of like an odd occurrence happen. So I was sitting here in my little corner just chilling out. I literally sat him down, and now I feel like really exhausted. And all of a sudden, you know, my heart starts to race like it does, very, very fast. And then I started to get really winded. I kind of felt like this is the feeling that you're breathing through a straw. Like I just wasn't getting a whole lot of air. And then I got very dizzy, and then everything kind of just went white and blurry. And it only lasted for a couple seconds, the blurriness did. So I was going to the doctor like an hour from that point, so I was like, I'm not going to go ahead and call because I'm going anyways. I'm not going to go to the ER because I'm already going to the doctor. I might as well just wait it out and go to the doctor. So I was talking about all of these things that are accompanying the heart palpitations, and she said, you know, normally heart palpitations are very common in pregnancy. They're nothing to worry about because your heart just has to work so much harder. You know, when you're carrying a baby, there's a lot of extra blood flow. It just pumps a lot harder. It takes more energy and everything. But with all the other symptoms that I'm having, and it seems that they're just progressively getting a lot worse to the point that like I'm having like the blurry vision and everything. So I now have a referral to a cardiologist. So I don't know if that means I know I have to wear, it was before I can get a heart monitor. So I'll have to wear it for 24 to 48 hours so they can try to catch the irregularities in my heart and try to like determine what the actual issue is with it. And I don't know if that means like I'm gonna have to go in to see a cardiologist to get the heart monitor, or if it's just a referral for him to make a prescription for me to get one. I don't know how it's gonna work. But she also said that, you know, it's progressively getting worse. So if it gets worse than it is now, and I'm having a lot more blurry vision and things like that, my heart rate just gets really, really bad. Like, you know, faint and pass out, I definitely need to just go into triage, and they would be able to monitor it. And even though they probably won't catch the irregularity there, because by the time I get to the hospital, it probably will have already passed, but they could speed up the process for me to get a heart monitor and everything. And the way she kind of said it, it made it sound like I would probably, because it's progressing so fast like it is and it's getting worse, that I'll probably end up in triage doing that before my referral would even get processed. So, but I'm one of those people, I don't like to be a complainer, and I really don't like attention, especially medically. So unless I'm honestly like, I fainted because of it, I probably won't go to triage because I'm just that way. But, so that's where I'm at with my heart palpitations. And I feel like just so drained because of it, because it just, the feeling itself is so horrible. But the other things that I mentioned at my doctor's appointment was, I talked about this also in my other video, was that itching that kept getting worse, and I thought it might be like, so can't say it right, per argo of pregnancy. This is what she explained to me. She pretty much said that she prescribed me Zantac and like a different antihistamine. So I guess when you're pregnant, your body produces like a lot of extra antihistamines, and that makes your skin like really, really itchy. Especially like, say you take a really hot shower, you notice if you get out, that'll irritate your skin a lot, and that's exactly what happens to me. So she prescribed me those. She said it's not gonna cure it, it's not gonna make it go away, but it will ease it a little bit. So that's like a really normal pregnancy thing that does happen. I was never really concerned about it, which is a really annoying symptom. And then the other thing that we talked about was, so a couple of appointments ago, they had mentioned to me that I'm at risk for preterm labor because Jackson was 6-7 months old when I got pregnant with baby girl. And so I brought it, they didn't really specify too much into it, other than once I got to my 3rd trimester is when they would be concerned that I would go into preterm labor. So I asked her today, I was like, you know, I had a different doctor say this to me. What are the actual odds that this will happen? Should we, you know, I always get phone calls when I'm filming. Anyway, I'll be 28 weeks at the end of next month. So we were like, do we need to have a hospital bag packed at that time? Should we have a plan if I go into preterm labor and she has to be in the NICU? Like, what is the extent that we should be prepared for this? And what she said was, it is more likely that I will go to term than it is that I will go into preterm labor. But it's definitely something they're going to watch, because if I start to have contractions or anything, that's a good sign that I will go into preterm labor. But it's actually a lot more likely I'll go full term, especially because both my boys were full term. So that is everything as far as baby and symptoms and everything that's happened in the last week. And I will show you guys my belly, which my pants are a lot too big because they are not mine. And then I will show you guys her heartbeat in that same end clip. So this is my left side. I feel like it's definitely getting a lot bigger. I think I'm carrying her the same way that I've carried both of my boys. I don't think high or low has anything to do with gender, but this is this side. This is my front. I know you can't see it, but when I touch, I can definitely feel where my belly button is starting to poke out. With James, my belly button never came out. With Jackson, it did a little bit, and I feel like with this baby, it definitely will. This is my right, and I think, so in the ultrasound, she was way down here in my pelvis. Like, she was so incredibly low. But I still feel her kick, like, up here, but that's actually not kicks. It's, like, arms and legs stretching up here, but she's mainly down here. But that is my belly.
Shit.
Oh, don't kiss it on the lube.
No.
Alright guys, I'm going to show you her heartbeat. This does not read right. So if you see a really odd number, it's not, yeah, like that. It's not her heartbeat. Thank you.
I'll change you.
There's a baby right there. There's a baby. See, there's the baby in there. There's a baby.
We're trying to find her. Yeah, that 68 is not reading right.
This team. This team. Hey, look. Look at picture.
Hey, James, quiet.
This, yes.
Can't tell it's my heartbeat or her heartbeat.
This
It
new
doesn't read
baby.
right.
That's a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby.
But your picture. It's autistic. A 10.
There we go.
Ow! That hurt. That hurt. Don't even want hurt. You don't kiss it. I don't like it. Mwah. That's better.
Alright guys, that was her heartbeat. I think the beginnings were of mine, but then in the end, I did find hers. My Doppler doesn't read right, so the numbers jump and it's obviously way lower than like what her heart rate should be, but it's not reading right. But I hope you guys enjoyed our 21-week update video, and I'll see